Hello, and welcome to the Main Meal Weight Management Support, where we help each other find the self esteem and confidence to reach our weight goals by tapping into joy and living our best lives in every moment. So, I thought it was time to go back and talk about the main meal. Define it. What is it? What does it mean? The main meal, in its simplest form for me, was every other aspect of my life besides dieting or weight loss or weight gain. Friends, family, work, recreation, education, service. I had spent nearly 30 years just immersed in thoughts of diet. I was gaining weight, I was losing weight, I was on a diet, I was off a diet. I thought about food all the time. I wanted to have the luxury of enjoying my life, my whole life. I wanted to get rid of the depression and the fear and the guilt associated with how much I weighed. I wanted to have room in my thoughts for joy, for love, for laughter, and for peace. So, little by little, I began to allow myself to enjoy dinner at home, lunch with friends, picnics with family. As I let go of my obsession with my weight, I began to have more interesting conversations. I began to deepen friendships and strengthen family ties. The more I let go of those food thoughts, the more I realized that none of my friends or family felt about me the way I felt about myself. They loved me, they accepted me. They only cared about my weight because I cared. Their only reason for caring about my struggle with weight was to help me stop feeling miserable. And that's when the meaning of the main meal started to expand inward for me. If my friends and family could accept me at any size or weight, why couldn't I do the same for myself? It's been a long journey. There have been many dimensions to the main meal. In the past week, I found another dimension. All my life, I've had a resistance to exercise. If it wasn't for playing a sport, I just didn't see the point. I felt like it was a waste of time, makes me sweat, makes me hurt. Why am I doing this? So recently, my two forms of exercise have been swimming and walking. And the pools are either closed or I don't feel safe going right now during the pandemic. So walking has been the main form of exercise. But I realized that I associate walking with exercise. I've turned it into a chore. The other day, I put on my shoes, picked up my walking stick, and I went outside for the pure joy of being outside. I didn't worry about how far I was going to walk. I didn't think about whether I was overdoing it and potentially keeping myself from walking the next day. I didn't try to keep up a certain pace. I didn't even check my step counter to see how many steps I walked. I just walked because it felt good. And isn't that the essence of the main meal? Every activity, every thought, every conversation, every moment of our lives, we live consciously. We treasure the moment no matter what we're doing. We fill our minds with loving, kind, accepting, and encouraging thoughts. We do things for the pure joy of doing them rather than for the outcome that we might get from doing them. There's lots of definitions to the main meal. You may have your own. What is the main meal of your life? And what does that mean to you? What might that phrase mean to you? It obviously has a lot of meanings for me, but each person can have their own definition. So we'll talk in the coming weeks about setting the table, designing the menu, inviting the guests. We'll talk about the main meal for the next few weeks. And join me every Wednesday around 10:30. Remember, the important word in the main meal weight management support is support. Making changes to our lives is a game of solitaire, but it should never be played alone. Let's do this together. See you next week.